this happens with people who you love. I mean, even with your
Yeah.
partner. I mean, my boyfriend, if I'm performing and he comes to see me, he's like so nervous.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
gets me nervous because he's nervous. This happens with people we love. Uh,
And
it's
it's the same like my girlfriend when she comes to watch.
yeah,
I really appreciate the criticism. She's like, she always tells me that when I talk, I raise my forehead like this. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. And I was like, "What? That's just how I talk." She's like, "Makes you look really angry." And I was like, then I'm like looking at myself. I was like, oh God,
really.
I do look really angry when I talk like this. And I know I look weird when I'm on the stage, but I know she knows me obviously really well. I know myself, but then I'm looking at myself, I'm like, oh my God, I look so weird when I talk all the time. And she keeps telling me to like lower my eyebrows and, do this and do that. And I appreciate the feedback, but then I'm like, oh my God, I'm so terrible. But then I'm thinking maybe people who don't know me and see me for the first time, they're not going to know that my facial expressions are different to normal because they don't know me.
Exactly. This is
And obviously the person
too
closest to
much
you, they know
detail.
you,
Yeah,
but I'm like, I still want to know because I'd like to be as good as I possibly can.
yeah,
And
yeah.
when I watch myself on video, I'm like, oh God, because in my head, I'm coming out totally different and looking totally different. You see yourself on video and you're like, oh God, what's wrong with my face? I look like a total idiot.
No,
And I'm
it's
like,
because I
oh.
think the problem with videos is because you cannot see the energy
Mm,
of the performance of what was happening there. You just see the bad things. It's not you just say, oh my God, this I should have said it differently. No, but at this moment, with the energy you had with the audience, this was the best thing to do. I mean, but on the video it's so cold and you cannot. You will always see. I mean, I hate myself on videos, because there is no feeling.
yeah, after I film all my sets, and especially if I do a new poem, then I kind of chop it and put them on YouTube or whatever. But it takes me a while after the set to actually be able to watch it. Like I've only just watched the one from End of the Coronavirus, which was like 3 weeks ago, and I've just watched it because like after I finish, I'm like, oh God, and all I'm thinking about is all the things that went wrong in it, and I'm like, oh God, and I look like I just can't bring myself to watch the video, and then I watch it, and I'm like, oh, and then maybe it's usually not as bad as I think,
Yeah, that's for
usually,
sure.
but then you wait, but then it's so funny because I would always I always used to think that, when you see people doing these types of performances and filming it, and you think, oh, that person loves themselves and they love filming themselves and they love putting themselves on social media. And for me, I'm like, I hate filming myself. I hate watching myself. I hate putting myself on social media. I hate being on social media. But if
Yeah,
you want to try and at least, if I'm going to bother doing this, I want to give it the best chance I can and try and reach as many people and then open up new doors.
that's
Maybe
uh,
go,
that's the important thing actually, because the video is the only thing that will open your doors.
yeah, and like
That's
I I
that's
I
how it
really
is.
strongly believe that the more uncomfortable situations, safe, uncomfortable situations that you put yourself in, the more you grow. Like if you're
Yeah,
feeling
true.
uncomfortable often, you're growing. You're growing, you're growing, you're growing, you're growing all the time. And so sometimes when life is going too well, I'm like, right, I need to do something really hard. I need to do something really hard and uncomfortable because life's too easy and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't do
yeah.
that and I'm not growing. And so I try and set myself some stupid physical challenge, or I go on stage, or now my next one is I'm going to get up on stage and sing. And I'm like, I can't sing very well. And I'm like, oh God, now I need to learn how to sing
Oh
properly
my
and
God,
get
I
on
will never do that.
stage. But that's what I mean. It's like part of it is this, maybe it's the fiend within me that's like looking for the next buzz, but I'm like, at least it's a healthy buzz that I'm
Exactly.
earning. I'm earning it by putting effort into something and getting an appropriate reward, as opposed to just drinking, eating, or taking drugs. And it's
Yeah.
like that's when you're
Then there
doing
are actually
nothing.
the spectrum is so big. You can do so many stuff. I mean, you can do collaborations. Then I started doing collaborations when I fed up of performing alone. I not fed up, but I want to do something different. So it's so different. And I started doing collaborations and adding music, live music.
Mm.
I created a band through Love Waits. I have a violinist, guitarist, pianist,
Oh,
and a singer, and we do like poetic concerts, like in bigger events. That was different. Then I started doing video poetry, another project with a friend from London. Uh, there are so many stuff you can do if you write.
yeah, it's
It's like
unbelievable.
amazing, yeah.
Now, because I'm exactly the same. I'm like, right, I want to add I want to add music to it. I want to do spoken word with some music in the background. I want to make
Yeah,
some songs. I want to add in live music. I want to add in a DJ. I want to add in this, that, the other. I want to start a band. Like,
yeah, why not?
and I'm just like,
Why
why
not?
not? And people like keep laughing at me. They're like, oh, you want to do all these things, Connor? I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I've got 60 years left. I'm 20, going to be 29 in a few months. I've got 60 years left. I want to live to 100. And I've got 60, 70 years left to do, like you can do this year. When I think of this one year, which is like the first proper year where I've been regularly performing and writing and all that, and I think just how much I've grown in one year and all the different cool things I've done and the places I've
Mm,
been, only within Barcelona and, well, Barcelona, London, and where I'm from. And I'm like, that's one year. One year. And you think of all the people that have probably seen at least, at least 1,000 people must have seen in all the different places I performed. Like 1,000 people in the first year. And I must have performed in like, I don't know, 8 venues or 10 venues or something like that. That's
mhm.
just one year.
And you don't have to be in a rush actually, because many people now, young people, because of this famous, I mean, it's so easy to be famous now, Instagram and stuff. So people, for this stuff that you need to work, actually, you need to
Mm.
pass time. I mean, to hours and hours of work for some stuff. I mean, if you work with a band, it
Yeah.
cannot be one rehearsal and then you go and perform. So
Mm.
you really need to put yourself in it, in this project. But many people now, 20 years old, 22, they just want everything now. They want to be famous now. And then it's like, okay, I performed once. Now I really want to be at the European. And then I went to the European Championship or World Cup or whatever. So now I'm going to start doing duets. Okay, next week I'm gonna speak with this person and we'll do a duet. And then, okay, now I have to make an album. Now I have to record now I have to do this video. No, I mean, you are 20 years old.
Mm.
Just give it some time. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's something that like that I wish that I suppose there's no point trying to tell yourself things that you would have done, but just slowing down and small amounts of effort each day is much better than trying to do one massive thing. And people told me this all my life. Slow down, Connor, slow down. You're trying to
Yeah,
do too many things.
it's the
Slow down.
best thing.
And now I'm just like, right, I've got 50 ideas and I've got 50 years. So I'm going to do each day maybe a little bit of this idea, maybe a little bit
Yeah.
of that idea, maybe a little bit of this one, and just roll with it and roll and just flow. And as long as you're stepping forward each day with one more sentence, one more word, one more
Mm.
sentence, one more word, one more poem, at the end of the month, you're like, yes, I finally finished a poem.
And you need
And
the experience there. I mean, if you don't put experience to any project, it's not gonna be good. It's gonna be like half good. I don't know what to say.
yeah,
I mean, the experience is what makes you better. So, I mean, if you performed in 10 stages by now, in 10 locals or whatever venues, imagine if you perform 10 more times.
yeah.
Imagine if you perform another 10.
Mm.
So, this experience is the thing that you can use to start a new project.
But it's like now I feel that I've had a year of experience,
Yeah.
just without any because I don't practice really. I practice in my head, but I just find it so I haven't been able to practice by myself yet in front of a mirror and all of that stuff. But I've just agreed. I've been waiting for a coach to appear, and I found a coach now. Um, and again, a door being opened, she invited me to. She listened to me do a poem here, like a children's poem. She invited me to perform to these children for Halloween, which, by the way, was way worse than performing for adults. It was so nerve wracking in front of these
Oh.
kids who were not native English. But anyway, I saw her how she was performing. She was teaching English through theatre, and I saw how theatrical she was and engaging for the children. And I thought, if you can engage children, you can engage anyone. And so I said to her, please, can you coach me? And so now I'm starting Tuesday coaching,
Wow.
theatre coaching, because I think I want to improve my stage performance because I think it's poor now. And I think that my writing is propping me up because I think my writing's okay, but my stage performance is terrible. And so I'm like, that's the next step. If you want to go from amateur to semi-pro, and then if you want to go to pro and you move up, then you have to put the effort in. You have
Yeah.
to put the money in, maybe, to get someone to coach you. after
Exactly. You have to. I mean, I used to coach people actually
ah
perform, and in Greece, like almost everybody and all the new people, I always give a performing workshop, either online now, but before I always had. I mean, I was always doing here as well. I mean, I did with Ashling as well in the
ah
beginning, and I did with many people from the poetry slam, the slam in English here. I mean, every time I had new people, normally they were coming at my house, or I was renting a studio, and we would rehearse their poems and their performance and everything. But it was back then that I had time to
mm,
do that. Now, then suddenly I didn't have time to do everything. But this was what I liked actually. I like a lot this performing rehearsal stuff. So it's a very good thing to do
100%.
because you cannot see by yourself. I mean, you cannot know what to do.
No,
It's very much easier if you have another person like yeah,
and
guiding you.
I think that um, a lot of people that get into this type of thing have come from some sort of drama background, or
Yeah, many
they've
people.
they've performed before and then they go on to do this. So you can tell the people. There are some people who are just naturals, like there's no question about that. But then you can tell the people who have at least done some sort of theatre or drama, or maybe they did it for their exams at school or something. And I think that that's really what I'm lacking. So this lady's going to teach me theatre from a theatrical point of view, and then
Mhm.
maybe when you've got time, you can be my new coach
Yeah, we could do that
next year.
because I don't like really the perfect performing. I like the performance to be a bit nervous and to be real.